we're trying to create an array of objects for creating the flowers. And so let's do that together. And so the very first thing let's do is the colors for the movie genres. Now, thus far, we've been using that like object with the genre, the object that has like the genre to the color mapping, and we had to do something like weird for when our genre wasn't in that color object because it wasn't one of the top genres. So then we had to like use this other color. Let's kind of take a look at how D3 scales makes that much easier for us. So we're going to use const color scale. Let's call it color scale. As our domain, we have this array of top genres, and that I think looks like, let's take a quick look at that. So the array of, the array of top genres looks like this. It's this going to map to is also, is it not path colors? Petal colors, I'm sorry, petal colors. So petal colors is also an array of 4 strings, in this case, the hex code for the colors. And so we're going to map these 2 arrays to each other. So and then, so let's put that in there and let's see if it works. So let's call it color, and let's use color scale and say d dot genres. So perfect. So for each of them, we have the color set on them now. And I think for some of these are the ones with other genres, and those are being taken care of also. And then the second thing we did was get the go from the rated, so the PG rating, to the type of petal. And again, because this is a discrete to discrete, we're going to use scale ordinal. And so the domain is, and actually, here's another thing that makes life quite a bit easier with D3 scales instead of using the objects that we paths. And what D3 would go ahead and do for us is that every time it sees a new parental guidance rating. So let's say that the very first movie as rating is, PG. Then it will map this PG to the first path in our array of petal paths. And let's say, after 3 or 4 more of the rating PG, it sees us. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to call it path. We'll say path scale, and we're going to pass in our PG rated. Ooh, and so now, cool. So you can see that each of them now has a path. In here. So this is our code thus far. And then let's do the 2 new ones. So let's map our ratings out of 10 to our scale. So let's call that a size scale. And this one is few other continuous scales, like scale log or scale power or scale square root. And so I usually tend to use scale log when there's some really extreme numbers that are outliers. And then so those are kind of like, if you just use a linear scale, then maybe most of your data points will be down here, but then that one extreme will be up here and you can't quite see the detail within here. And scale log will kind of like let you kind of expand the bottom part and then be able to see kind of the bottom part also. And that, though, be careful with scale logs because the axes. Yeah, so logarithm scales are also very useful and helpful when, let's say, the data points you have might have like a kind of when I'm trying to like map the radius of a circle. So there's like different times when different scales can be used. Set. So we're going to say d3.extent. We're going to pass in the movies data set, and we're going to say that I want to know the min and max rating. So dot rating. And we'll pass that in as the array, and that will probably look something like, 3 to 9.8 or something like that. This is purely a guess, but it's gonna, the min and max rating is going to be an array that looks something like that. And then I'm going to say that I want to map this to, because we're going to be passing this into transform scale. So right now, scale it from something like 0.2 to maybe 0.75, and we can kind of like play around with the scaling, but for now I'm gonna do and that's how I'm going to do my scaling. And then finally we're going to go from the number of votes to the number of petals, and again let's go and get the min and max number of votes. We're going to use D3 extent, and this time we're going to say, is it votes? Yeah, I think it's votes. And we're going to 'and the range is going to be, I'm going to maybe do something between 5 to 10 petals. So might do something like this. 11 because it's not inclusive here. So this will give me this exact array back. But just for the sake of this exercise, I wanted to show that. Okay, so let's call that scale and use the size scale. And we're going to pass in the rating. And then for the num petals, we're going to do num petal scale. And we're going to pass in the number of votes. And if we've done that correctly, then yeah, there we go. So now we have everything movie and then rotate them around into a flower. But as of right now, we have the path, we have the color, and we have the scale. And then we have the translation. And so this is what it looks like.